Chapter 75, Recruiting Another Temporary Helper. It was already late autumn and the entire road was filled with cold fog. The streets were cold and cheerless and the shops were filled with only sparrows and trash. Along the way, Chen Ming's face was cold, as if someone had owed him 1,000,000 spirit stones. However, Songshi was not interested in asking further. No matter how troublesome the quests were, at the very most, he would just die. If one death was not enough, he could continue dying 10 more times. What else could they do to him? Songshi did not have any objections. However, somebody else had a lot of objections. After walking for a few kilometers, he saw the city wall and heard a commotion. Are you kidding me? These quests are actually to fight those cultivators. Not interested. The temporary workers you found last time were all killed by Sky Demon Cult. I'd be a fool to go again. No matter how much you give, I need to be alive to take those rewards. In front of the city gate, Songshi saw a group of cultivators cursing. There were more than 100 of these cultivators. Most of them were ancient martial art practitioners, and 10 to 20% of them were immortal cultivators. The Demon Slayers Division's Fiend Eradicators were quite influential. They had managed to attract so many people in such a short period of time. He looked up and saw a huge notice on the wall above the door. There were people from the Black Iron Guard standing at the door, but their expressions did not look too good. Songshi was not surprised. The previous time, the Demon Slayers Division was almost completely wiped out by the Sky Demon Cult. It had dealt a huge blow to the prestige of this official organization. At the very least, in the eyes of the cultivators of Silken City, the Demon Slayers Division's Fiend Eradicators were no longer as high and mighty as before. Most importantly, it was very unsafe to be a member there. Indeed, the saying that when you want to kill someone, go for their heart is true. I roughly understand why Sky Demon Cult was so bold to directly attack their base camp. Only by suppressing them in their own territory will their prestige be destroyed, and only then would these itinerant cultivators not dare to join. Songshi was deep in thought. Fortunately, the appearance of the Blazing Sun King back then had prevented the Sky Demon Cult from fully achieving their goals. Otherwise, not a single person would have been alive today. Suddenly, he sensed a faint sneer at the corner of Chen Ming's mouth. Just as he wanted to take a closer look, the sneer disappeared. Is there a need for this guy to mock and disdain his own Demon Slayers division? Songshi felt that Chen Ming's character was not good. Half a month ago, this guy had fled at the last minute. Now, he was mocking the Demon Slayers division for not being able to recruit anyone. Chen Ming had become extremely different from his first impression of him. Indeed, one should never judge a book by its cover. John, at this moment, a sword hum resounded as a flash of sword light streaked across the void. Chen Yiling was dressed in white as she flew over on her sword. Her long hair fluttered in the wind, making her look like a solo immortal sword cultivator. Looking at the crowd that was about to disperse, she landed on the city gate tower and said, indifferently, "Those who made great contributions as temporary helpers can obtain Khanate pills, Foundation Establishment pills, or Essence Converting pills according to their contributions." Some cultivators, who had taken a few steps away, immediately hesitated and stopped. To postnatal martial artists, Khanate pills were hard to come by. To Khanate or late-stage Shi refinement cultivators, Foundation Establishment pills or Essence Transformation pills were extremely precious. Both of them could help them break through realms, but the Foundation Establishment pill was more suitable for cultivators and the Essence Condensing pill was more suitable for Khanate martial artists. They were a group of rogue cultivators. Other than gathering spiritual stones to buy them, they basically had no way to obtain such a treasure. Most importantly, even if one had spirit stones, they would not even be able to buy them. They were purseless. Looks like they're going to spend a lot of money to recruit rogue cultivators. It's time. Songshi narrowed his eyes. Through seeing Haiduzi's experience, he knew that in order to rule this country, the Great Jin Empire had deliberately suppressed the cultivation world. This was very normal. Heroes often broke the rules with their martial arts, let alone these cultivators who could fly. Any Khanate or late-stage Shi refinement cultivator could easily slaughter a village. In a situation where it was easier for cultivators to break the mortal rules, if they did not control them adequately, chaos could happen at any time. In order to prevent too many cultivators from being too strong, The Great Gen Lord dynasty restricted the number of disciples that the various sects could accept. According to the strength of the sects, the quota of disciples would be assigned accordingly. Once the quota was exceeded, more disciples could not be taken in. Furthermore, all disciples had to be registered. If it was discovered that they were secretly taking in disciples, they would be punished at best. At worst, they would be exterminated completely. Not only were there restrictions on the number of disciples, but there were also restrictions on cultivation resources such as inheritances, elixirs, dharma treasures, and so on. Pills like the Kane pill and the Foundation and Establishment pill that could help people break through a major realm were controlled tightly. Under normal circumstances, the various large sects would not even have enough for themselves. It would hence be very difficult for these pills to be spread to the outside world, causing this kind of medicinal pill to be priceless. However, official organizations like the Demon Slayers Division and the Fiend Eradicators were definitely not lacking. However, taking the initiative to release such controlled medicinal pills also meant that they are already at their limit currently. Commander Chen, how cheap can your Foundation and Establishment pill be compared to the market price? In the crowd, a bald, gray-robed old man with a yellow walking stick and a hunched body who looked like he had one foot in the grave asked shakily. Sanshi took a look at him and found information about this person in Haiduzi's memory. The famous independent cultivator in Silken City, Elder Du, was good at maintaining his health. It was said that he had already lived for more than 180 years and his age was basically close to the end of the lifespan of a Qi cultivator. Simply put, this old man did not have many years to live, so he naturally yearned for the Foundation and Establishment pill. Once he reached the Foundation Establishment realm, he would be able to live for another 120 years. If he focused on maintaining his health and did not fight too much, it would not be a problem for him to live to more than 300 years old. It's roughly half the price, and there's no limit to the number you can buy. If one pill isn't enough, you can need a second and a third. As soon as Chen Yiling said this, the eyes of the cultivators immediately started shining. If there was no limit to the number, didn't that mean that as long as there were enough medicinal pills, they could also reach the Foundation Establishment realm? Ahom, immeasurable heavenly venerate, am a cultivator of the Jin Empire. How can I be frightened by such a group of rebels? Am willing to help your Fiend Eradicators suppress the rebel cultivators. A skinny Taoist priest who was as thin as a bamboo pole waved the dust away and spoke righteously. Sanshi glanced sideways. Just now, it was this fellow called Taoist Kai who shouted the most fiercely. Now, his expression had changed quite quickly. In Haiduzi's memories, Taoist Kai's cultivation level was not bad. It was said that he had long reached the 10th level of Qi refinement, but his reputation was not good. Combined with his current actions, Sanshi could tell that this kind of person was quite unreliable. Who knows when he will start scamming people? He had to interact with these people more. If Commander Chen had said so earlier, we wouldn't have complained. In the crowd, a burly, medium-sized young man in a black shirt with a slightly big face attracted Sanshi's attention. This person carried a heavy sword with a broad back made of black iron. His aura was steady, as if it was rooted to the ground. It was also as heavy as a mountain and did not have the sharpness of an ordinary sword cultivator. This was Silken City's #1 sword technique master, Dark Iron Sword Zhao Wufan. His heavy sword was invincible and he was once the #1 expert in Silken City's cultivation world. It was rumored that he had cultivated the dark iron treasured body. Chen Yiling did not care about everyone's opinions. She waved her hand and said, "If everyone is interested, you can register. Martial artists will be assigned to the Demon Slayers Division, while cultivators will be led by the Fiend Eradicators." Lian Wan, whom Sanshi knew and a woman he had never seen before walked out. They were holding wooden tokens with the word Lin written on them. He couldn't help but complain. Good lord, even a temporary helper has a work pass now. At this moment, a pair of eyes landed on him. Chen Yiling stared at Sanshi and said, "Come here." Upon being noticed by the beauty, many people immediately looked over. A portion of them recognized Sanshi and looked surprised. "Isn't this the playboy from the Song family who often goes to brothels? Looks like you're quite capable. I misjudged you previously. I heard that he was beaten up by Tan Hu from the Vajra sect last time. However, Tan Hu's corpse was also lying on the street for no reason. I don't know if it has anything to do with him.